What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be talking about 5 of my book buzzwords. If you don't know what a book buzzword is, it's pretty simple, but let me break it down for you. It's basically when you hear a book being described, and you hear something when it's being described that you just absolutely love, so you gotta have that book. First on my list is a very basic buzzword, but that is friendship. I know that that's a very simple buzzword, and that could be like any book ever because there's friendships in basically every book ever. But what I mean is when friendship is like a defining element within the story. There's just something so powerful in seeing friendships form and seeing people come together, forming these strong bonds, going on crazy adventures, and making it through tough situations together. I just love it and I live for it. An example of this would be Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. There is a heavy presence of friendship in here. We've got these two girls who kind of have this unbreakable bond together, and they work really hard together, they kick butt together, and they go on crazy adventures together. Next on my list is the word illustrations. Now this might not be a surprise to most of you guys who have been watching my channel for a while now. You know that when a book has illustrations in it, I want to read it. I just adore pictures in books. Whether it's a graphic novel, a manga, a comic book, or even just a normal book that has pictures threaded throughout it, I want to read it. I'm here for it. I know it's really nice to kind of be able to paint up your own picture of what a character might look like or what a fantasy world might look like, but there's just something really nice about having a kind of reference to what those characters and what that world kind of looks like. Some of my favorite illustrators include Brian Selznick. I personally love his illustrations. I find them to be super whimsical, and I also find that his stories heavily rely on the pictures throughout the book. His stories are kind of pulled forward through the illustrations, and I really like that style. Then I also just adore Brett Hellquist, who is the illustrator for the A Series of Unfortunate Events series. He's also been an illustrator for so many other different books. I just find his illustration style to be so fantastic. It's kind of the sketch style, but it's also very detailed artwork. Next up is a buzzword that I feel is kind of rare in the young adult book genre, and that is no romance. It's super hecka rare when there is a book without any romance in it. And I'm not here to drag young adult books for being heavy on the romance side, but I would really like to see more stories where there isn't any romance. An example of no romance in books is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. There's a friendship in this book between a boy and a girl, and it doesn't go further than that. Bless, praise, hallelujah. This next one is one that I am just a complete sucker for, and that is poetic writing. If a book's writing is described as poetic, I am instantly sold. I want to read that book right here, right now. I just want to latch onto that book and just take in its beautiful wording. And I know that sometimes it can be a bit too much. Even when I'm reading books with poetic writing, there are times when I just roll my eyes because I'm like, okay, really? Really? That's a little dramatic. But at the end of the day, I still love it. A series that has really poetic writing is the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. This series is often criticized for being over the top when it comes to the writing style, but that's exactly why I love it. The last buzzword that I'm going to mention today, though I have plenty more buzzwords that I will talk about in a future video, but the last one that I'm going to mention today is character driven. If you tell me a book is character driven and we get to know the characters on a deep level, I will read the crap out of that book. I just love when you read a book and you get to know the ins and outs of a character. It just makes the characters feel like real people because their personalities just kind of reach out and grab you, and you just find everything about them compelling. An example of this would be The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. I've only read the first book. I know I'm extra behind on the series, but I remember reading this book and just kind of feeling like the characters were like leaping off the page and becoming real. I know that sounds crazy, but that's just how I felt while I was reading this book. Their personalities are just so vivid, and they really just kind of float off the page. And you know you're just reading a book, but the characters just feel so real, so you kind of feel like you're reading about something that truly happened. So those are just 5 of my bookish buzzwords. You guys should let me know down below some of your bookish buzzwords and a book that kind of goes along with that bookish buzzword. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified for when I post new videos, be sure and go and click subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.